What's up, guys, and welcome to the Tim's Sports Talk. We got the Thursday night football game, Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. It was supposed to be a crapshoot. Nobody liked this game, right? But it actually turned out to be a pretty entertaining game. Joe Burrow looked pretty good in his second game as a NFL starter. Baker Mayfield had an okay night, but really it was the run duo coming out of Cleveland tonight. Nick Chubb, 22 carries, 125 yards and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt, 10 carries, 86 yards and a touchdown. They averaged 6.5 yards per carry between the two of them tonight. Just an incredible night. And also you had 2 catches from Kareem Hunt, 15 yards and a touchdown. So 4 touchdowns coming out of the backfield for the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield was only 16 for 23, which is not too bad, but 218 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception, and it was a bad interception. It was on a play action. He actually made a guy miss, stepped in, threw the ball. Looks pretty. Everything looked pretty until, oh wait, you just didn't see the backside corner coming out to get the interception. But back to Joe Burrow, he actually looked pretty decent throughout the night. There was a lot of pressure put on him as far as the offensive line did not block well for him. I mean, Joe Mixon carrying the ball only had 16 carries for 45 yards, 2.8 yards per carry, so he didn't have much of a run game to back him up. He also had a couple of drops. A.J. Green is not what he used to be, let me tell you. It's unfortunate for A.J. Green right now because he used to be one of the best. He only had 3 catches for 29 yards. I saw at least 2 balls that he should have had, including that last one for a touchdown. There may have been a little pass interference there, but I still think that A.J. Green, with his talent, should have been able to come down with that ball. But yeah, it was. You had a little bit of everything. You had some good defense. You had 2 goal line stops, which actually came off of 2 plays where it was one for each team. Each team had a touchdown put on the board and taken away for being down by contact right at like the half-yard line, and neither team could punch it in. Cleveland did have where they had a strip sack the next series where they got the ball back on the 1-yard line and then punched it in. So it ended up not hurting Cleveland as bad, but it really hurt Cincinnati to not come away with 7 points instead of 3 points, because that final touchdown, you put 4 more points on the board. That final touchdown all of a sudden is a potential game-tying touchdown with a 2-point conversion. So very unfortunate for the Cincinnati Bengals. There's actually an argument that they probably should have gone for the touchdown anyway. Why not? You're at the 1-yard line. Your team's not expected to be very good anyway. You're trying to build. You're trying to gain confidence with your offense. Why not send them out there? It's a coaching decision, and it is what it is. Tyler Boyd had a really good day for 7 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. He unfortunately also had a drop for Joe Burrow that should have been a touchdown. So he should have had 2 touchdowns on the day. And he was very upset with himself, hit the ground right after. Drew Sample, the tight end. So unfortunately, C.J. Usoma, there it is. He went down with an injury. He had to be carted off the field. But Drew Sample, the backup tight end, he looked decent. He had 7 catches for 45 yards, including one that was an amazing one-hand catch. And speaking of that one-hand catch, it was actually that drive that they came down to score a touchdown for Cincinnati to go back within a 1-score game with about 6 minutes left. And Joe Burrow threw 3 pretty bad passes in a row. Very inaccurate. And you had 4th and 5, and he just steps up and gets the 4th and 5. He actually went 5 for 5 on 4th downs tonight. Very clutch performances there. So it was interesting. Mike Thomas had some promise. I liked what I saw out of him. He's an interesting receiver there for Cincinnati. Joe Burrow has a decent amount of weapons. Joe Mixon out of the backfield. Tyler Boyd's really good. I liked what I saw Mike Thomas, Drew Sample, like I just talked about. T. Higgins was not a bad night for the rookie. He looked interesting. It's just unfortunate that A.J. Green, if he had A.J. Green 3-4 years ago, Joe Burrow would have some very, very good weapons. Since Cleveland Browns, the defensive line was really huge tonight. Myles Garrett had a sack fumble. They were blowing up the run game. As I said, Joe Mixon only had 16 carries for 45 yards, 2.8 yards average. So I really like what I saw out of the Cleveland Browns front four. They were putting a lot of pressure on there. And then you had Denzel Ward, their corner, played really well tonight. Completely shut down A.J. Green. Everybody was on. It seemed like nobody was, like, whenever he threw that way, it seemed like he was able to get a hand on the ball. So Denzel Ward had a really good night. Cincinnati's defense is just not very good. That's gonna hurt them all season long. I mean, it sucks for Joe Burrow to put 30 points on the board. He had 61 attempts tonight. 61. 37 for 61. But, yeah, it sucks for Joe Burrow that he's just not going to have a defense this year. They're still a building team. Nobody was expecting anything out of them. So we'll see what they end up with as far as the final record. But, hey, you'll get another high draft pick, get another really good player. And Joe Burrow seems like he has a chance. He's already shown why he was the number one pick in the draft. He's very calm, cool, and collective. He ran the ball a lot as far as making plays with his legs. He bought time a lot, but he always kept his eyes downfield. Even when he got out of the pocket, it was constantly maybe some pump fakes here, keeping his eyes downfield, making the linebacker or the safety, whoever was out there, guess like, oh shoot, should I go back? Can I go get him? Can I go back? So, and Joe Burrow had a good night. He's still young, so he still has some kinks to work out as far as accuracy, as far as also some play, being able to call plays at the line. I think he put his running back not in necessarily the best situation sometimes by calling a run play. So there's some decision making, some stuff to grow on, but this is a great building game for just your second game of your NFL career. 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did have the fumble, and he had 7 carries for 19 yards, and those were really big. I think he ran for at least 1 fourth down. He ran for a third down. Most of those runs ended up being like, if not a first down, right there at first down. So, yeah, it was an interesting game. Much better than I expected for a 2 0-1s going at it. And Cleveland bounced back after last week only having 6 points, but that Ravens defense is so good. And then they came out against probably the worst defense in the league in Cincinnati. So they needed to have 35 points after what they showed last week, and it's all with that 2 I think they have arguably 2 top 10 talents, easily top 15 talents as their running back duo. It's the best duo in the league. And what they're the best at is staying on their feet. Their center of gravities are incredible. I mean, just the 11-yard touchdown by Chubb, the other one that almost was a touchdown, he got hit. And if this was him standing straight up, if you got hit, maybe you go side to side or whatever. He got hit and he just moved like 3 yards in the air, but never wavered side to side at all. It was literally tackle, a move over, go. So, Nick Chubb's a beast. Obviously, Kareem Hunt's a monster. I like Joe Mixon for Cincinnati, but he had nowhere to run. It's very unfortunate for Joe Mixon's situation. They did just pay him, I believe. I can't remember the contract, but yeah. All right. Well, that's about what I have here for the Cincinnati versus Cleveland, and I will leave you guys with that. Big Redskins fan, as you guys see here. I do a show Tuesday nights talking Redskins. I also go live after the Redskins game, and then I want to go live after the Sunday night game and the Monday night games from here on out. So feel free to join me. I'll go live right after the clocks hit zeros. And until next time, see ya!